Why you don't consider yourself as a winner? Maybe because the wins that you have don't look as glamorous as other people or as posts that people put on social media. So you don't think that your win is worth celebrating, or you don't think that it's really a win. Let's talk about it today. Welcome to another episode of RMT, That's Real Man Talk. It's your boy, Stan the Man, coming to you with another great conversation piece on today. And before we get started, I want to thank you for joining me here on RMT. Because sometimes the thing that get us across the finish line is not the most prettiest. If you look over your life and it's not the material things that people want, the house, the cars, the job, the money, we start to think if we don't have those material things along with having success, then we are not really winning the way we should be winning. But due to public opinion, sometimes your wins can feel like a loss because it don't look like everybody else. Let me give you an example. Your house could be paid for. It's not the most fanciest house. You don't have a large square foot, but it's yours. You own your house, you own your land. You ain't doing nothing but paying taxes, basically. Even on your car, you might not have the nicest car, but this car is paid for. It's getting you to and from where you need to be. You're able to save money. You don't have a house note, you don't have a car note. But since in society, if it's not flashy, if it's not the if it's not the most expensive, if it's not in a certain neighborhood, then you're not really winning. And us as men, sometimes if you try to keep up with the Joneses, you'll end up losing yourself inside of doing some things that you shouldn't be doing, or spending money that you shouldn't be spending, just because you want to keep up with an image and make people feel or make them think that you're winning. And that's one of the common mistakes that happens when we start to look at other people and focus on other people. And that's another thing. If you continue to focus on what people think or what people are saying about you, your wins will never feel like a win. See, we have to take our own person's success and make sure that you feel good about what you're doing within your lane. And so many people that got outside of their lane and what they was best at doing and tried to do other things, and they weren't as successful. And that's how we operate sometimes in life. When we find something that we are successful, that we good at doing, if it's not the crowd rooting us on, we don't feel like we can keep going. See, sometimes you have to do the things that don't get all the cheers, that don't get all the applause. And sometimes living cheap, sometimes your house paid for, sometimes that car that's not up to date, that it might be a couple of years old, 5 or 10 years old. Sometimes it's not the popular things to do, but you have to do that in order for you to win, for your bank account to win, and for you to mentally be okay. And see, the way society is set up now, if we not posting it, it ain't real. If I'm not showing it to you on my story, it's not real. If I'm not doing all those things to make other people see, oh, now I think they're successful, or we want other people to say that we think they're successful, then we feel good about ourselves. But we have to be okay with no applause, no cheers, or nothing like that. We have to be okay when ain't nobody rooting for us. See, we expect winning always to look pretty. We expect winning to always look like the things that we want it to look like. See, if you go out and you plant seeds in the ground, you plant seeds in the ground, when you plant it in the dirt, that dirt look all type of ways. It's not no pretty dirt. It's not no good looking dirt. Dirt is dirt. But when you putting that seed into the ground, into that dirt, the seed can look any type of way. Some seeds are smooth, there's different shapes and sizes, but once you drop that seed in the ground, when the plant start to come up, the plant doesn't come up a certain type of way. All different plants come up different ways when they start to sprout out of the ground. So when something is growing and you building something, it might not look like you want it to look when it first started out. And sometimes when we don't see it growing the way that we want it to grow, we like, man, it's not growing. Or if it's not growing fast enough. And we see somebody else, we looking over at somebody else and seeing what they doing, and they stuff starting to sprout. It's starting to look the way that we want it to look. But we looking over there instead of watching what we have. But you need to start watching what you have in your life. And if you listening right now and you in a season where it just feel like you just surviving is a win, drop that in the comments. Drop that in the comments and let somebody else know that you are going through the same thing that they are going through. The crazy part about it is like all of us come from different walks of life, right? And since each one of us comes from different walks of life, all of us experience things different from our parents, the schools we went to, our family members, people that we're around that shaped and molded who we are. And one thing that goes into this is that all of that is just like that ground. And so when we're young, they are putting things inside of us to help us grow. But when what the crazy part about it is some people are upset at their children because their children didn't grow up the way that they wanted them to. They're not as successful as they wanted them to be. And they start to frown upon what their child is doing. But this is the key thing. Just because success to your parents or just because success look a certain way to somebody else don't mean they're going to look the same way to everybody. And that's what you have to come into terms with. That your success might not look like my success. My success might not look like his success or her success or their success. But it's success to me. It's a win to me. See, we have to make sure that the win is for us. We are too busy wanting to win for somebody else to see us. That's what we want. We want to be able to put up the medal. We want to be able to throw it in people's face instead of actually winning in the background. But we are too obsessed with people and want them to see how well we are doing. And just if we can sidetrack for a minute, to be honest, sometimes when you get the win, the glamorous win, and everybody see you, you be empty inside because you did it for everybody else and never did it for yourself. Some people right now, even that, let's just use Michael Jackson for example. Michael Jackson was very successful. He got to the pinnacle of his career as far as R&B, pop, whatever genre, whatever category that you want to put him inside of. He became one of the most successful people inside of that category. But at the same time, we know that Mike was broken in some ways. He was broken in some ways. And we don't know, I don't know because I ain't personally asked him, but you don't know if he personally wanted all of that. If that's what he wanted to do. Because he got his childhood taken away. He could never be just a regular person walking around in the mall or doing some of the things that we do. He couldn't do it. So we always look at people that's winning like, oh, you got the life. You so successful. You doing so good. And we looking at, but we never look at the other side of it. We never look at the family members begging them for money. We never looking at they can't have a regular life just going outside and doing normal things with their family. Just going to an amusement park, maybe going to a game or going to a concert. They can't do any of those things. They might have to be in disguise or they might have to have um, security guards around them for protection. But they just can't go and just do it by themselves. But we look at them and say, man, they winning. They got the life. And they probably trade it all with you. I'm not saying all folks, but some of them might trade it. So the reason I said that because it is people that have multimillionaires that live in mansions, and some of them just take their own lives. Why is that? If winning and success is all that, why do they want to take their life? Why Solomon, when it came to the end of his life, he just said all of it don't mean nothing. Solomon was one of the richest men that ever lived that's wrote in the Bible. But when it got to the end of his life, all those material things, he said it really didn't mean nothing. You know what the real win is that don't nobody talking about? The real win is having your family, having a loving family, having people that actually care about you around you. See, society will tell you to accumulate all these material things. That's winning. Society will tell you to sleep with all these women. That's winning. Society will tell you to take all these drugs. Society will tell you to drink all of this liquor. But all this stuff inside of you that takes you away from reality. But you winning. They want you to put on a facade for social media to show that you winning. I'm doing better than you. We sometimes just want to put on the image that I'm doing better than the next person, which is crazy. I just want to make sure that I'm looking like I'm doing better than this person, and that's all I want. What a crappy way to live, man. What a crappy way to live. But like I said, they'll never say, oh, be a family man. Take care of your wife. Take care of your children. Make sure you loving on them. Make sure you as a man continue to grow so you can be able to instill certain values and certain morals inside of your family. They don't say that. They don't say live under your means. Only live once, YOLO. You only live once, spend all your money. Do what makes you happy at all times. Because being disciplined don't always feel good. And in order to win, you have to have a certain level of discipline in order to get to that plateau. But what society wants you to overdo everything and lose everything and give it right back to them. And we do not appreciate the ugly seasons. We don't. We don't appreciate the grind. We don't appreciate us being by ourselves. We don't appreciate the focus that you might have. We don't appreciate not having money at the time. We don't appreciate driving that car that the air might not work in it. It might you have to pray before you crank it up. We don't appreciate that time. So we want to fast forward, past all of that. All the pain, all the struggle, all the learning curve, all the late nights, all the frustration. We want to hurry up and get past that and get right to the win. Sometimes it may take years. That's why a lot of people give up on a lot of different things because it didn't happen immediately like they wanted it to happen and they gave up. Certain people, it took them years. Steve Jobs didn't build Apple overnight. It didn't happen overnight. He had failures. Tom Brady as a quarterback, he didn't go first round. He didn't go as a first round pick. He was the last pick. Michael Jordan didn't make it on his high school team. He did. So you have guys that have went out, have took their L's over years. It wasn't always success, but took their L's over years, took it as lessons, took it as building blocks that I'm not going to stay right here. I'm learning from this. I'm taking this experience, everything that I learned from here, and then I'm going to build and move on. I'm going to build and continue to progress from this point. But I'm never going to forget about what happened here. I'm always going to appreciate what happened in that ugly season. We have to learn to appreciate our ugly seasons while we in that season. And even when we coming out of that ugly season, right? And you start to win. You start to see some progress. Don't let it go to your head. Don't get beside yourself when you start seeing some success. Don't get beside yourself and start thinking that I'm better than the next person. Don't start to look down on other people when you're starting to get the win. Don't think that, oh, well, I'm going to be here forever. Because, see, some people get caught up. I'm winning right now. I'm making the money. I'm blowing the money. Man, you might be making the money just right now. You might be in the season. I'm just saying, you might be at your 9 to 5 and you might be getting some good overtime. And instead of you blowing that money, you might need to put that back. You might be an entrepreneur and right now your business is booming. And instead of spending all of it, put some to the side. Put a little bit to the side because right now you in a good season. But sometimes we overlook that winning season and don't think that it can't get ugly again. We don't think that the winter can't come. We don't think that it can get cold outside again. We don't think that until it actually happens. Then when it happens, be like, dang, I'm back to where I was at before. But while you winning, if you putting a little bit back, just in case you looking out, you know what? While I'm winning right now, make sure I take care of my responsibility. Make sure I cover those bills I need to cover. Make sure I pay the things off I need to pay off. Make sure I'm not doing nothing that I don't need to be doing. That if something happened, I'm gonna be messed up. Don't let society trick you. Oh, well, go take this lavish trip and you ain't paid your mortgage. You ain't paid your car note. Or you behind on things. Why go do it? Just understand this. God is not gonna put us in a position for us to constantly win and not going in the ugly season, but the ugly season is the training ground for when you win. But if you forget when you winning about your ugly season, you might have to go back through some more training. Might have to get humble. And one of the worst things now is to get humble in front of social media. And that's why and if y'all don't listen to nothing else that I say, think about this. While you winning, you don't have to post everything. You have to put everything on the internet. Because you know what hurt people a lot? When they post stuff and then just say they post a car, and then they'll have a car, then everybody come around. What happened to your car? What happened to your car? But if you ain't post it, won't nobody be asking you about it. Won't nobody even know about it. Won't nobody even care. And a lot of people don't care anyway. Some hate, some don't even care. You got a small percentage that's happy for you when you actually out there winning. And if you listening right now and you in a season where it just feel like you just surviving is a win, drop that in the comments. Drop that in the comments and let somebody else know that you are going through the same thing that they are going through. And just because this season might not look like everybody else's season and you might actually be winning, man, don't get discouraged. Keep on pushing and keep on chugging. Till next time, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace.